Hello, and welcome back to Innovaticalls. I am Professor Nike Eshiaghi from RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm so glad you have joined us today. If you are new to the channel, welcome. We are thrilled to have you with us. Innovaticalls is a space where we explore real story, practical strategy, and knowledge that can help you thrive in study, research, work, and life. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you won't miss any of our future episodes. Today we are continuing with part 2 of our discussion on assertiveness. In previous episode, we learned that assertiveness means expressing your thought, feeling, and needs clearly and respectfully without being rude or aggressive. If you haven't seen that episode yet, I strongly recommend going back to watch it. It lays the foundation for today's discussion. We also briefly touch on the differences between assertiveness and aggression. Now, let's dive deeper into the understanding the difference between assertiveness and aggression. Starting with a new story that takes place in a university. The story of Mina. Mina is a postgraduate student in her final year of study. She recently applied for a small grant from university to cover her travel expenses to present her research at an academic conference overseas. This opportunity excited her because it would be her first time presenting at an international event. However, Mina received an email informing her that her grant application hadn't been approved. In the first scenario, let's see what happened when Mina reacts aggressively. Scenario 1. Mina reacting aggressively. After reading the rejection email, Mina stormed into the office of the Dr. Susie, the head of the grant committee, visibly upset. Mina? Dr. Susie, I just got the email about the travel grant. I honestly can't believe my application was rejected. I worked so hard on that proposal. That is completely unfair. Dr. Susie, I understand you are disappointed, Mina. We received many applications, and unfortunately, yours had a number of grammatical and structural issues. It wasn't easy to follow, and that significantly impacted the evaluation. Mina, that's ridiculous. It's a research proposal, not an English test. You should be evaluating the content, not my grammar. Dr. Susie, communication is an essential part of any proposal, especially when requesting funding. The clarity and quality of the writing matter just as much as the content. Mina, well, nobody told me grammar would be such a big deal. That should have been made clear in the guideline. Dr. Susie, it actually is stated in the selection criteria. We mentioned that we assess the quality of the both research and the writing. Mina, then maybe you need to change the way the information is presented. Honestly, this whole process feels biased and unclear. In this scenario, Mina reacted with frustration, blaming others for the outcome. She disregards the feedback and doesn't take the responsibility for her part in the situation. This aggression approach can damage her relationship with Dr. Susie, who may feel less inclined to support her in the future. Scenario 2. Mina responding assertively. Now let's imagine Mina respond assertively instead. After receiving the rejection email, Mina takes a moment to calm herself. Then she writes a polite message to Dr. Susie requesting a short meeting to better understand the feedback. The next day, Mina sits down with Dr. Susie in her office. Mina? Hi, Dr. Susie. Thank you for making time to see me. I received a decision about my grant application, and although I am disappointed, I would really like to understand what I can do better next time. Dr. Susie, I appreciate you coming in, Mina. Your project idea was quite interesting, but the proposal had several grammatical issues and the parts of it weren't clearly explained. That made it difficult for the committee to fully assess its merit. Mina, I see. I didn't realize grammar and clarity would weigh so heavily in the decision. That's definitely something I need to improve on. Dr. Susie? It's a common issue, especially among the students focused on the technical aspect, but funding proposals need to communicate idea clearly and professionally. We often have to read thousands of the application, so writing quality really stand out. Mina? That makes sense. I'm grateful for the feedback. Would it be possible to get some guidance on improving my proposal or maybe attend a writing support session before the next round? Dr. Susie, absolutely. We run grant writing workshops, and I would be happy to connect you with a mentor who can help review your next draft. Mina, thank you so much, Dr. Susie. I will definitely take those steps. I really want to strengthen my application for the future. In this version, Mina handles her disappointment calmly and constructively. She seeks out the feedback, acknowledges the issue, and expresses a desire to improve. Dr. Susie responds positively, and Mina gains support that will help her succeed in the future. Key takeaway from Mina's story. What we can learn from Mina's story. Assertiveness means being honest and confident about your thought and feeling, but without blaming or attacking the other person. Aggression, on the other hand, often leads to the tension, misunderstanding, or broken relationships. Mina didn't get the grant this time, but because she communicated in a clear, respectful, and open manner, she left the conversation feeling more positive and more in control of her growth. And importantly, the others saw her as a mature and professional. Let's now explore how we can improve our assertiveness skill. First of all, it is important to understand that being assertive doesn't mean you are somewhere between being too quiet or being too aggressive. It is something entirely different. A passive person often finds it difficult to speak up. They may keep their feeling and opinion to themselves, avoid difficult situations, and wait for others to take the lead. Since they do not express what they need, they often don't receive it. As a result, they miss opportunity and may feel overlooked or take advantage of. Many passive people feel like they are being walked over. Some accept this silently, while the others feel frustrated but believe they cannot change the situation. Some people don't stay passive forever. Instead of, they behave in a passive aggressive way. They hide their anger at the first, but it shows up later in an unhealthy or confusing way. Instead of directly expressing how they feel, they might do things to quietly get back at others. This behavior can seem small, but it causes real problem. For example, imagine two university students working on a group assignment. One of them feels frustrated because the other keeps changing plan at the last minute. But instead of discussing the issue directly, the frustrated student agrees on the surface, then avoids meeting or delays work. This behavior creates more stress and makes teams work harder. Sometimes it can be more serious. Let's say a student is leading a study group, and one of the members keep interrupting others. Instead of calmly addressing the issue, the group leader starts sending cold messages or ignore the person during discussion. It may seem like a way to avoid conflict, but it only builds tension and may harm group relationship. So what is the better approach? Learning to say what you think or feel in a clear and respectful way. Not everyone easy to talk to, but silence and indirect action won't help. Assertiveness gives you the tools to handle situation calmly and honestly. And while passive aggressive habits can be hard to break, they can be changed with effort and practice. Now, let's see what are the benefits of the assertiveness. There is very little to gain from being passive. People who stay silent or speak in an unclear, hesitant way often end up feeling ignored, disappointed, or defeated. They give in too easily, leaving them feeling powerless and unhappy. Passive aggressive behavior isn't helpful either. It's like storing up anger until it eventually explodes, usually in a way that is much bigger than the situation requires. These emotional outbursts seem sudden, but they come from a long build of resentment. This can confuse or hurt others and damage trust in relationship. Aggressive behavior might seem powerful in the moment, but it is not effective long term. People who are constantly argumentative or pushy live under high stress. It's tiring to be always in conflict, and others may avoid working or communicating with them. Aggression often leads to regret or backlash, and studies have shown it can negatively affect physical health, including a higher risk of heart problem. In contrast, being assertive brings many positive outcomes. People who learn to be assertive often feel more confident and free. They don't carry the emotional weight of unspoken frustration, and they open themselves up to the better communication and healthier relationship. Assertiveness helps you connect with others in a more honest and respectful way. Even in a difficult situation, the other person is more likely to feel heard and valued, not insulted or attacked. That's a major difference between being assertive and being aggressive. An assertive person communicates clearly but also shows respect. This creates a space where the other person can listen and respond without feeling threatened. Aggression, on the other hand, makes the people defensive or angry and often shut down communication completely. To be assertive, you also need to pay attention to nonverbal communication, your eye contact, body language, tone of voice, and word choices. These small things matter. When done well, assertiveness not only helps you speak your mind, it builds trust and influence. In fact, it is the kind of skill that can help you succeed not just in the school but in the jobs, leadership, and social situation too. Let's explore the simple ways we can practice assertiveness. One helpful way to build assertiveness is to start small by facing small fears in everyday situation. These are not dangerous action, just things we usually avoid because they make us uncomfortable. For example, think of a student who gets nervous during the class presentation. They fear being judged or making a mistake, so they stay quiet. One day they decide to raise their hand and say a few words in front of the class. It's uncomfortable at first, but afterward they realize it wasn't so bad. That small act builds their confidence. Or imagine graduate student supervising research work. He noticed repeated mistake from someone on his team but avoids saying anything because he doesn't want conflict. Eventually he chooses to speak up, calmly pointing out the issue and offering the help. To his surprise, the student thanks him and the work improves. He feels more respected and confident moving forward. These examples show that assertiveness is not about being loud or forceful. It's about having the mindset and the courage to express yourself clearly while also respecting the others. And just like learning a new subject or a skill, assertiveness can be learned, practiced, and strengthened over the time. Success means reaching the goals you set for yourself. Assertive people are more likely to achieve their goal because they clearly express what they want, believe, or feel, while also respecting other people's opinion. They do not give up when someone disagrees. They stay calm, explain their position, and keep trying. This respectful persistence increases the chance that others will help them, or at least listen and take them seriously. Passive people often don't reach their goals, not because they are not capable, but because they struggle to express themselves. They may not even be sure what they want. And when they do speak up, they may back down at the first sign of resistance. So it's hard for others to know how to help them. Aggressive people also struggle with success. They may be clear about what they want, but their pushy or disrespectful behavior turns others away. People may feel pressured to agree in the moment, but rarely offer long-term support. In fact, aggressive behavior often leads to isolation or backlash. But when you are assertive, when you know what you want and express it clearly and respectfully, people are much more likely to help you or at least respect your point of view. Assertiveness brings confidence, a stronger relationship, and better chance of success in both university life and beyond. Reflection question. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Think of the time when you were passive, assertive, aggressive, passive aggressive. Write a short description of what happened in each cases. How did you act? What was the result? Now ask yourself, which situation turned out the best and why? Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Innovaticalls. If you found it helpful or inspiring, please subscribe to our podcast and share it with your friend, classmate, or colleagues. Innovatical is more than just a podcast. It's a community of professors, students, researchers, and professionals who believe in supporting each other by sharing real life stories, skills, and experiences so that everyone can grow, thrive, and live a fulfilled life, personally and professionally. We would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and share your own experience of the being passive, assertive, or anything in between. Your story could help someone else who is going through the same thing. Until next time, be kind, be assertive, and be supportive of others. The world needs more of that. Take care. See you in the next episode.